Cheating. We've all done it in video games. Hopefully not relationships. That would be really awful. Even I myself am a cheater and used a max revive in a Nuzlocke many, many years ago.
Champion, so it's gonna be 3 against 6, which I still think is the odds are in his favor.
I cheated! So. Terrible things, terrible deeds done by terrible people. So today we're watching the 10 creative ways that video games have fought against cheaters.
Creating honeypot data which only cheaters could read. Dota 2. Now earlier.
Oh, now that's smart. See, if you post that on the forums, you immediately out yourself. I've seen so many people go on the forums and be like, hey, did you guys see this? This is crazy. Only to be immediately outed. The developers come in with the, hey, you know what that means, right?
This year, Valve announced that they brought the ban hammer down on 40,000 Dota 2 players who have been caught using third-party software to cheat in the hugely popular MOBA game.
In the last few weeks, 40,000? That seems like way too many. I don't know how many people play Dota. I've never played Dota, but that seems like a ridiculous amount to be cheating. I can't be that many people playing Dota still to. Oh my god. I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Okay, in the last few weeks, they found 40,000. If there's a 24-hour peak of 620,000, then we're talking like this big numbers. But still, that's like what, 2 to 5% of the people playing are cheaters?
And Valve's method for catching them was quite genius indeed. They updated the game with a digital honeypot, a segment of data hidden inside the game's code which could never be read by a regular honest player not using cheats, but would be read by a player using software to assist them. This gave
Are we talking about the gamers reading it or the actual players reading it?
Absolute certainty that all 40,000 banned players were unambiguously guilty of cheating, while further asserting that they made their efforts known to effectively act as a deterrent and assure offending.
Was it like a little pop-up box that came up on the screen that only appears in the games of those cheating?
Players that they will be caught eventually. While more ambitious Dota 2 cheaters will likely be looking into ways to circumvent this clever anti-cheating mod, it was
ambitious Dota 2 cheaters? Why even play in the game if you don't want to play it properly? What joy do you get? There can't be that much. Going in, maybe being invincible or having aimbots or having infinite items, infinite experience. Where's the joy? Is it just from ruining other people's days? I don't quite understand it. Do you simply get your rocks off by making someone else's experience in life worse? What kind of terrible existence do you need to have? How many beatings did you take from your parents to be in a position where the only happiness you get is from cheating an online video game?
Certainly effective in ridding the game of a large swathe of ill-intentioned ne'er-do-wells. Number 9. Corrupting all of your save files.
Yes, I hope they do it right at the end of the game. Actually, wait, is this an online game? Hold on, Valkyrie Profile 2. Hold on, if this is a single-player game.
Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria. Now, Dota 2's anti-cheat crusade feels incredibly generous compared to the utterly savage manner in which Valkyrie Profile 2 ruins some cheaters' days, and does so in a game without any online functionality, no less. The game shipped with an anti-cheat software called GameGuard, which can detect when players are using cheats, and follows up by corrupting your save file. If that's bad enough, the corruption doesn't show up until late in the game, luring players into a false sense of security before having it continue.
No, they did do what I said. They did do it right at the end of the game. But why? If it's a single-player game, you're not harming anyone. There's no online capabilities whatsoever. You can't go online with your cheated characters. I think it's totally fine. You should be able to do it. In fact, in a lot of games like Bethesda games, like Skyrim, Fallout, there's just a command prompt that you can open, and it lets you have all the developer tools that they use, all the commands that they use to test things in the game, like walk through walls, go invisible, go invincible, spawn this, spawn that, give you this, give you that. Honestly, I think that's great. Just having the ability to do whatever you want in the game, regardless of whether it's not how the developers intended it to be. I think that's fantastic. You should be able to play the game however you want us to play. It's single player. It's not hurting anyone, so who cares, right?
Crash. Oh, and by the way, it gets worse than that. If you're using multiple save files in an attempt to outwit GameGuard, well, you're also screwed, as the corruption will affect all save files on your memory card as it's tied to the overall game system file. As such, to play a clean run of the game, you'd need to delete every Valkyrie Profile 2 save, including system files, from your memory card. On one
I don't agree with that.
One hell of an aggressive and creative way to fight cheaters, but on the other, talk about overkill.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's not an issue. This is a non-issue. They've spent so much time trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist.
8. The receptionist shames you over the PA system.
That's a little funny. Okay, see, I don't think there's anything wrong with the game having a little poke at you, a little funny thing, but just removing all your progress is a little bit much. If you're cheating, maybe the receptionist comes on and says, hello, We've had reports of... Is this thing up? We've had reports of someone cheating in this hospital. He's not a real doctor, actually. He's only a TikToker with a coat on that's pretending to be a doctor.
Theme Hospital. On the decidedly less punitive end of the spectrum, we have the utterly delightful Theme Hospital, which rather than threaten the integrity of your save file, rather gently shames you for using cheats. Now, to be clear,
fine.
Bullfrog's legendary hospital sim has a built-in cheat functionality, allowing you to enrich yourself, gain equipment, skip forward in time, and even cause an emergency. So the team clearly wasn't seriously bothered about you using some cheats. Yet, as a cheeky admonishment for cheaters, they'd be called out by the hospital's receptionist, who would enthusiastically announce over the building's PA system, the hospital administrator is cheating. Granted, within the context of the game world itself, you have to wonder why.
Attention everyone, the hospital administrator is cheating on his wife with 3 other women. The other women are patients. It's really messed up.
What the hell that would even mean to anyone who hears the announcement. All the same, it's a small price to pay for being able to increase your bank balance by $10,000 with a single button press. Number 7.
It's worth it.
Elements disappear when the game is paused.
Okay, Mario Party.
Sometimes...
See, Mario Party, I can kind of see... Well, cheating in Mario Kart Party it's local, right? It's local. You're going to be around your mates anyway, and if you're cheating, you're all on the same console, so the cheats would apply to all of the people equally. I don't think you could have cheats just apply to one of the characters, and that would be insanely cringe. Imagine being around all your friends, sitting on the couch, and like, hold on, I'm going to cheat in Mario Party, gears a little bit more stars, make me invincible in the minigames. Imagine how your friends would look at you after that.
The most elegantly simple solutions are the most brilliantly effective. And in the case of the Mario Party franchise, Nintendo realized that players could cheese some of the memory-based minigames by simply hitting the pause button and waiting until they had memorized everything on screen. And so...
Oh, is that cheating though? I guess if you're playing against the AI, it definitely is. I guess you could just not allow the game to be paused in those areas.
In many of the series' games, the respective visual elements will actually disappear from the screen while the game is paused and only reappear when it's unpaused, in turn preventing players from abusing the pause feature to net themselves an easy win. In fact, Mario Party isn't the only Nintendo franchise to do this. Pausing the WarioWare games during minigames will cause the screen to be plunged into total darkness, ensuring that you can't take advantage of the pause screen.
That makes sense. It's a way to allow you to pause the game while allowing you not to get an advantage. That's fine. That's one in the middle of the road.
Incredibly straightforward remedy to a most basic level of cheating. And yet, how many other games have actually bothered to implement it? Number 6. Valve
That's pretty good.
A golden halo to anyone who didn't cheat. Team
Fortress. Oh, there's no way that cheating is that bad in Team Fortress 2. Come on, the Team Fortress 2 community is so strong. People love Team Fortress 2. There's no way. Who was even cheating on that game? That game came out in like 2006, something like that.
If gamers en masse have proven anything over the years, it's that they're incredibly susceptible to FOMO, and so when all else fails, developers can exploit that to punish cheaters. Though perhaps not egregious as cheating goes, Team Fortress 2 did nevertheless have a problem with players using idling programs to exploit the game's item drop system, where
Oh, item drops. Okay. I can understand that. That's really not as harmful as well. If it's just cosmetic items, it's not really that big of a deal, but obviously Valve doesn't want that. Valve doesn't even update Team Fortress 2 anymore. I learned that recently when I watched Meet the Team for the first time. I said, I hope Valve does not stop updating the game. Valve stopped updating the game.
Weapons or cosmetic items would be regularly given to players whilst playing online. Idling programs such as Steam Stats were able to mimic the game's engine and allow players to receive item drops while not actually playing the game. And these programs
Wait, oh, they do different effects. Hold on hit, bleed for 6 seconds, minus 50% damage on. They actually do have different effects. So depending on which item you get, maybe there is potentially really powerful items. I did not realize that. I thought it was cosmetic items, like it is in most games. You don't go on Overwatch and you get Zarya, a new gun that has like a new explosive nuclear device feature.
Proved hugely popular and were ultimately used by a large chunk of the player base. In
was
September
that golden
2009,
minigun?
however, Valve decided enough was enough and released an update which gave a special item to anyone who hadn't used idling programs. A golden halo, hilariously called...
Okay, what does it do? Effect, Holy Glow. Though some would stop at nothing to achieve hats, you remained resolute and incorruptible in your quest for head decorations. As for that, you have been rewarded. It's not tradable, and it does nothing. Unlike that knife before.
The Cheater's Lament. The halo also came complete with the message, congratulations, your honesty has been rewarded with a new hat. Naturally, hackers were a bit miffed that they had to miss out on this shiny treat, and in the years that followed, Valve made several changes to the item drop system which made idling decidedly less effective, such as forcing players to confirm a new item before being able to receive another one. Number
Okay, sure, that makes sense. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of Recon in Halo. For those of you that weren't around when Halo 3 was at its peak, Recon armor was the greatest that you could get. Of course, the armor in Halo doesn't have any effects other than just cosmetic effects, but in Halo 3, if you saw someone with Recon armor, it meant that they were a developer. Now, later on, you could unlock Recon armor for yourself, but basically finding someone with this armor in-game as you were playing, it was like meeting a celebrity. It was like meeting Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It was like meeting Barack Obama in-game. You took a screenshot, you took photos, and be like, holy shit, that guy's got Recon armor, that's so freaking sick. Because it probably meant they were either a developer or knew a developer or did something right sick to get this. This was the big balls. And we don't really do much stuff like that anymore in games nowadays. There's stuff that you can buy. It's all purchasable. There's no developer exclusive armors that you see running about, or stuff that is restrained or respected just for the tippity top of the pops. Like maybe you're number one on the leaderboard for the amount of kills that you got in a certain month. Maybe you get like a sick new armor set. That would be cool to put on the games. Oh, next we got Splatoon on the list.
A player hacked the leaderboards and begged Nintendo to implement anti-cheat. Splatoon
What?
2. When developers won't
Surely
deal
not.
with cheaters, players might actually feel compelled to take matters into their own hands, and that's precisely what happened with Splatoon 2. In 2018, one player became exasperated enough with the game's online multiplayer being so infested with cheaters that they decided to send Nintendo a message. And
I wonder how you cheat on Nintendo Switch. Like, is there some kind of device that you plug in? Do you use custom firmware? I mean, but you probably use custom firmware and do something along those lines. But custom firmware gets logged onto and located and banned quite easily. If you modify your Switch, then it's very easy for Nintendo to find you, unless you take precautions, like you probably should. Like most of these cheaters do, they probably take precautions and mask the fact that they're using custom firmware. It's generally advised that you don't go online if you're using custom firmware to add any kind of modifications or apps or anything to your Switch. But some people do. Some people are a little bit crazy. Oh no, the fella that hacked the leaderboard asked Nintendo to put anti-cheat on the game, got banned. Add anti-cheat. Oh no. I mean, it makes sense. He did hack the leaderboard. It's against the terms of service. It makes sense that he got banned, but I hope his sacrifice, his martyrdom in this situation actually lent to some anti-cheat getting added. Please tell me surely it had to.
did this by cheating themselves, and they cheated big. The player took it upon
This reminds me of when that FaZe guy cheated in Fortnite. Just to be like, hey, this is bad. You should probably get rid of this. And then he got banned and he started crying on the screen.
themselves to hack their game's online leaderboards, editing their X-Power numbers so that they appeared in the top 4 spots of the leaderboard with the player names, please add anti-cheat. Get it? The person responsible even took to Reddit to elaborate that they're a huge fan of the game, but were dissatisfied with Nintendo's refusal to implement sufficient anti-cheat measures. Nintendo predictably responded by banning the individual from Splatoon 2's online play, though
But did it work though? Did he do it? This is clearly someone that loves Splatoon, right? You don't go to the lengths because it requires a lot of effort to do this kind of thing. Just to spread a message out there to say add anti-cheat, you must love the video game if that's the case.
their clever gambit actually ended up working. As about
It
2
worked!
months later, the company also began implementing more robust anti-cheat measures. This also
Nice.
carried through to the recent release of Splatoon 3, where Nintendo took a far more proactive approach in banning cheating players. And
He
number
did
one,
it. Oh, bless that absolute legend. He did it. He single-handedly saved Splatoon Online. The old money cheat.
Old money cheat gets you a high-interest loan instead. SimCity 2000. 1989, SimCity memorably allowed players to receive
you
an
a
instant
high-interest
loan
loan?
of $10,000 by holding shift and typing fund, albeit with the caveat that getting greedy and entering the cheat 3 times in a single game year would trigger an earthquake. For the sequel, SimCity 2000, Maxis decided
Was God mad at you for getting too much money? Was he jealous? Is he a brokey?
to have a little fun with players simply expecting to use the money cheat again, because this time typing fund would give players a bond with an excruciating 25% interest
25% in this bloody economy? I don't think so. Absolutely not. Interest rates are 25%. The economy is falling. Everything is collapsing. The end times is now.
rate. Yikes. It was a clever subversion of player expectations for sure, albeit one which unintentionally, hilariously backfired for Maxis, given that players soon discovered a way around to exploit this for their own material gain. Basically, if you
It's just like real life where you can take out loans at interest rates below a certain amount and then invest that money in ways that you can make more money, and then you just make an infinite money glitch. That's how you make infinite. If you want my course on how to have infinite money, be sure to subscribe to morepat. And once you use code patterrz at GamerSupps with your delicious beverages, I will give you the infinite money glitch that will allow you to live forever and be super sexy and hot too.